Hi there, welcome back to Chi's Kitchen. Today we are going to make a side dish, a vegetable side dish that has been in my family for, I don't know, generations. I still remember eating this dish back in Vietnam when I was a little girl. It's one of those go-to dishes when you're out of ideas, you don't know what to make, but you need a vegetable dish to go with your rice and entree. So you go, I'm kind of lazy, so I know I'll make this dish. It's called bắp cải xào. Translated is stir-fried cabbage. It's delicious. It's my go-to when I don't know what to make. So let's get started. All right, so let's take a look. What kind of ingredients am I going to need? First, I need some cabbage. Probably, I would say half a cabbage to 3/4 of a cabbage, depends on how big it is. That amount should make a family dinner for 4. Next, you will need some yellow onion, some garlic. You also need some green onions right here. You're going to need some eggs. And for seasoning, you need some mushroom seasoning. This is the kind I use. This seasoning is vegetarian, and I prefer this over salt. If you don't have it, you could always use salt. But I prefer this because it has more flavor to it and it's less salty. You also need some black pepper, and you also need some oil. In terms of equipment, you will need a small skillet like this to stir fry the cabbage in. So to start the recipe, you need to do some preparation. The garlic, we want to mince the garlic into little bits like this. We want to chop the green onions like this. For the yellow onions, you want to slice them into slices like this. For your eggs, you want to pre-beat them. And the last thing is we need to slice the cabbage. Okay, so here's how I slice up my cabbage. I start it like this, and I'm just going to cut it down in half. So this is a decent sized cabbage. I think I'm just going to use half today. Then what I do is I cut it in half again. As you can see here, there's the core, this part right here. We don't want to eat that, so I'm just going to slice it out. I'm going to do the same thing here. And now I'm going to slice my cabbage into little strips. I'm just going to go and cut one more slice here. And then I hold them together and slice this way. Notice the strips are about this thick, maybe 1/4 inch thick or so. Once my cabbage is all sliced up, I'm ready to cook. Okay, as you can see here, I've got my skillet on the stove and I've got heat on. You want to put it around medium heat or so. Then you put in some oil. Not a lot, just enough to grease your skillet. Now we wait for the oil to heat up. So now I'm going to test my oil to see if it's hot enough to start cooking. What I do is I stick in a chopstick or any utensil you have and look to see if the oil is sizzling around your chopstick. I can see bubbles sizzling. Okay, it's ready. So first we add in the garlic. Now we're going to add the sliced yellow onions. What you do is you just push it around until you see the onions become translucent, which is kind of clear and soft. This is a crucial step in the cooking. It brings out the flavor of the garlic and the onions. Now we add the cabbage. Here it's useful to use 2 utensils to help you push the vegetables around. I'm using a wooden spatula here to help me kind of flip the cabbage around. As the cabbage cooks, you'll see that it'll start start to get soft and it'll start to flatten. It won't be so high up on your skillet. So I'm waiting for it to get slightly softer before I add in the eggs. Actually, before the eggs, I'm going to add in the seasoning, the mushroom seasoning. I just want to show you up close what the mushroom seasoning looks like. They're little granules like this. So I'm mixing this up to get the mushroom seasoning to blend in with the cabbage. And I can see the cabbage is softening. This is when I'm going to add the eggs. But to do that, I want to create a well in the middle. So I kind of create this little hole here so that my skillet shows through, and I'm going to pour the beaten egg in there. Then I just cover up the well with the cabbage to allow it to cook a little bit. Let it sit like that for maybe 30 seconds or so. Okay, let's stir everything up. You'll start to see the yellow egg that's being cooked is going to show through in your cabbage as it gets cooked. I let it sit and cook a little bit more, and then I'll stir it up some more later. What I'm looking for is the cabbage to look soft, but not gooey soft, not like wilted. So it looks like our cabbage is looking soft and cooked. So I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of black pepper. Mix it up well. Then I'm going to sprinkle in some of those chopped green onions. Mix it up. Okay, our cabbage dish is finished. It's ready to be plated. Here is our finished cabbage. Doesn't it look delicious? This is a great vegetarian dish. It goes well with rice and another entree. What you can do is watch my other video that I make, a dish called tingdupti, which is meat omelet. It goes really well with this cabbage dish. I usually make them together. So check out my channel for the other recipe that you can make with stir-fry cabbage. Just want to show you a dish that goes really well with the stir-fry cabbage is this meat omelet right here. It goes super well with rice. I happen to make it with black rice. The meat omelet is dipped in that fish sauce, which I also have a recipe on my channel. Check out my channel if you want the recipe for this meat omelet. We typically eat this for a family meal. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much for joining Cheese Kitchen. I will see you next time.